Shalom. This week we are reading Parashat Shelach, beginning chapter 13 of Sefer BaMidbar, the book of Numbers. And Parashat Shelach, as everyone knows, is the central Torah portion that describes the importance of Eretz Israel, of the land of Israel to the Jewish people. Unfortunately, the way in which we learn about this in Parashat Shelach is through the terrible episode of the rejection of the land of Israel due to the anxiety, due to the hysteria, due to the lies of the spies that were sent out and the effect that they had on the people. You know, there are expressions that we use all the time like heaven on earth, or this place is like heaven. And the truth is that this is the secret of the land of Israel. Because Eretz Israel is the place of Hashem's dreams. It's the place where His dreams come true for us. If ever there could be a place that could be described as that place that is somewhere over the rainbow, it is really the land of Israel. And thus, it shouldn't be a surprise to us that when we study deeply about the biblical borders of the biblical Garden of Eden, and we read in the sources about the mystery of Gan Eden, about what this place Gan Eden really was, we find that it was a very large area, but that the heart of the biblical Garden of Eden is the land of Israel, and the heart of the Garden of Eden is Jerusalem, and indeed the Temple Mount. In fact, our sages tell us a tradition that the place of the altar where Abraham bound Isaac is the location of the tree of knowledge in the Garden of Eden, and the place of the tree of life is the place of the Holy of Holies in the Holy Temple. What does this mean exactly? Are we talking about parallel universes, a metaphysical idea? Obviously, there can be more than one way of looking at something. There can be more than one scenario going on in one place at once on different levels, and I think that's what's being communicated here as well. But essentially, the idea is we can understand there is a massive connection between the rectification of humanity and the stage wherein that takes place, and Eretz Israel, the centrality of the land of Israel. And this place is, as it were, heaven on earth. And this only compounds and exacerbates the tremendous irony of the fact that we come to Parashat Shelach, that special generation, the generation of the desert, the generation of knowledge, who ate from Hashem's table the manna, who drank the water from Miriam's well, that generation that was so holy and steeped in this tremendous intimate knowledge and relationship with Hashem, they received the Torah. And of course, they're human beings. And of course, the Torah, and specifically Sefer BaMidbar, records all of their failings and inadequacies, because life is not only about fixing everything. Life is not only about the challenges that we rise to and succeed. Life is also about the failures. And this is also something that is equally important and that we learn from. And that sometimes we repeat and keep on going until we can fix it. So here we are. We're looking at the generation of the desert, poised, taut with expectation, about to enter into heaven on earth, the land of Israel, there to begin affecting the tikkun for man, for Adam. Because make no mistake about it, Israel living in the land of Israel, according to Hashem's will rectify Adam and all of humanity. And that's why we learn about how Gan Eden parallels the land of Israel, and how the center of the Garden of Eden is the center of the land of Israel. It's all the same thing. And there they are, ready to go in, ready to take upon themselves this tremendous task, which is our task in every generation, and they come up against a dead end. They hit the wall of their own miserable failing. And as we all know, in every generation, and in ours particularly, we know that these lies are repeated, that there is this fear and anxiety that is generated from both within and without the people of Israel. It's almost as if there's some sort of negativity which is fixated on trying to convince Israel that we can't do it, just like it was in those days with the spies. And there are those isolated voices of heroism here being defined as commitment and belief in Hashem, those voices that say, no, we can do it. But this tremendous negative energy that tries to just drive a wedge between Israel and her destiny, it's almost as if these powers that be know that the whole tikkun of humanity is dependent on Israel flourishing in her land, thus, therefore, to effect a tremendous spiritual aid for the family of man. And this is where we are now. We are, again, hearing these things. We are just being bombarded with negativity, with doubt, with suspicion, with a need to defend ourselves, and what's more, with the need to defend the land itself, the land which is such a manifestation of Hashem's sovereignty in this world. So nothing has really changed in that regard, except that the pathos and the irony and the tragedy, as it were, of the Jewish people's almost being there, but yet not able to make that final push. It still seems to be with us. And this is what we have to overcome. We are that generation. We've said this many times. And our job now is to, yes, go into the land of Israel with joy and strength and courage and belief, and say, yes, we can do it. And those forces are not really even there. They are really just imaginary, and we can do this. And that will be a benefit to the entire human race. That's what the world is waiting for. That's why the world is so worried about whether or not we're going to do it, and even trying to convince us not to do it, and even we're trying to convince ourselves not to do it, because everything changes when this really happens. Who can handle that? Can we handle it? Can the world handle it? The reality, just the being real of what will happen when Hashem's name is really known through the beauty that will emanate from the rectified land of Israel. But God Himself does know it, and He does have confidence that we can do it. And even in Parshat Shelach, He does something very, very beautiful and very, very amazing. In Parshat Shelach, after this has sunk in, the terrible consequences of what we've done and of what our fear has wrought, then we have something very remarkable. Towards the end of the parasha, beginning in chapter 15, again, after the decree was made of the 40 years of wandering, after the terrible reality of what we have done has overtaken us, then Hashem says to Moshe, tell the children of Israel this message, that when they will come into the land, there are two mitzvot that are going to apply. Not now while they're going to be wandering around in the desert, but when they come into the land, there are going to be two mitzvot, two special commandments that are dependent upon the land of Israel. And those commandments, as we read about here in Numbers 15, here in our Parsha of Shelach, first Hashem tells Moshe about the commandment of the libations, which are various pouring out libations, wine that's poured out together with the offerings in the holy temple every day. And then another commandment, he tells Moshe to tell the children of Israel, when you come to the land which I bring you, the mitzvah, the commandment of challah, which is that a certain amount of dough has to be separated, a portion for Hashem, when making bread, the first of the kneading. So what's going on here? They just got this terrible news that they're going to be wandering around. These two mitzvot are not going to be applicable for many years, but Hashem now gives them these commandments. So there are many levels of understanding the significance of receiving these two commandments at this early stage, at this preemptive stage, when it's now just a question of the information, because it won't have an application for so many years. On one level, it's actually just a beautiful gesture on God's behalf, because He's essentially telling us, you will be going in. It's too late for you, particularly this generation, but your children that you were so worried about that they would be butchered in the desert, they're going to go in, and our relationship continues, and I am not taking back any of that. Our relationship is the same, and you will be connected to the land of Israel, and as a proof, I am vouchsafing to you these two mitzvot, that when you come into the land that I will bring you to, you're going to be doing these two commandments. So that's on the first level. It's just a nice thing for him to do, because it gives us a little bit more encouragement, and it gives us a little bit more of a feeling of continuity, and something to look forward to, that this will happen. The second level of understanding is even deeper and more beautiful, which is that Hashem is also subtly reminding us of the message, pointing out kind of based on the failure of the spies and what was their whole problem on a deep level, that they didn't understand that the relationship that they have with Hashem here in the desert isn't sufficient, because they're just living in a vacuum. They're living in some sort of a bubble. They may be living on a high level of holiness. They may be connected to Hashem. They may be eating the manna, but they're supposed to go into the land and elevate the physical and sanctify this world. So Hashem is saying, when I do bring you into that land, this is what you're going to be able to do. You're going to be able to take from the produce, and you're going to be able to sanctify it and raise it up to me. That's also a beautiful level. But the third level is really even more significant. And the third level of meaning, I think, goes back to what we began with. The symmetry, the connection, the parallel universes that are going on here, the connection between Eretz Israel and heaven on earth, somewhere over the rainbow, Gan Eden, because there are various opinions expressed by our sages about what the fruit of the tree of knowledge really was. But one of the most popular understandings of what the tree of the fruit of knowledge really was that it was either chita, wheat, or grapes. And indeed, one of the ideas behind the kiddush, the sanctification of wine on Shabbat over wine, and the blessing over the bread on Shabbat, is a rectification of the eating of the tree of knowledge, especially when we take into consideration that whole idea that the sin of Adam and Chava was essentially that they didn't wait for Shabbat. That's a deep level. But the idea here being, this is all one theme. It's a beautiful continuity. It's a beautiful message that Hashem is giving us, and all three levels work together. And He's telling us, it's not too late. It's never too late. You will, as a nation, come into the land, and you will there continue your divine mission of elevating the physical world and of being a beacon to all humanity that this can be done. And you will effect the tikkun, the rectification for Adam Harishon, and thus for all humanity, for all his descendants. As soon as you come into the land, you're going to take those two elements, which were the downfall of man, and there, back where you started from, in the Garden of Eden, which is the land of Israel, if only we would see that and appreciate it today, there you will begin to rectify what you did long ago as Adam, and now Israel as the personification of Adam being given a second chance is to go into the land of Israel, and through the libations and through the challah to fix the sin of the tree of knowledge, and to bring Gan Eden, paradise, on this earth as a reality to all of humanity.